Let's get focused with InFocus, the series where we tune into the most talked about topics making waves across Canada. Each episode, we're bringing you the inside scoop with experts who are leading the conversations. Are you ready to dive in? Let's go. Welcome back to InFocus. I'm your host Sakshi, and today we're diving into the topic of accounting, what it takes to set yourself apart in the industry, and what skills you need to grow. Whether you're an aspiring accountant or you're already in the field, this episode is packed with the insights you don't want to miss. Welcome back to InFocus. Joining us today is Rajeev Acharya, who is an experienced accountant who has worked across both industry and practice, helping businesses succeed in their financial. Rajeev, welcome to InFocus. How are you today?
I'm feeling good. What about you?
Good. Thank you for taking out time and shooting this video with us today. I just wanted to start this conversation with a fun question. Like, if you wouldn't have pursued accounting, what would you have done?
Well, for me, let me first answer by saying how I came into accounting. So my father is a chartered accountant, and after finishing my college, for some time I was very confused as to which career path should I pick. So there were not other options in my mind. I always wanted to follow my father and come into accounting. So there was no plan B.
No plan B whatsoever. What about some hobbies?
So I had some, not the usual hobbies. So I was into trading a lot, stock trading, because one of my father's other businesses was trading in securities. So he had opened an account for me. He had allocated some capital, said even if you blow this, it's still manageable risk. Okay. So just try to learn it. So I was into trading during my college years, and yeah, so
nice.
it did help me.
Are you still trying to maintain that?
I don't have the time at all.
No.
Can't juggle two things now.
I know. Now that accounting is a profession that is constantly evolving with new regulations and whatnot, what do you think industry experts can do to keep themselves up to date?
Well, in order to keep up to date, I think the best resources online. There are a lot of newsletters, articles published by the Institute of Chartered Professional Accountants. One who is serious about the course, who wants to grow himself as an accountant, he should really subscribe to some good newsletters and keep himself up to date with the changing laws, regulations, and just whatever that is happening in the industry, because a lot has changed over the last 5 years, and so much has changed over the last 10 years. Because when I started off my career sometime in 2012, at that time how things were done in accounting are completely obsolete now.
I'm sure. More paperwork earlier then, right?
Yes, more paperwork, less reliance on Excel. Yeah, and now it's all data analytics. So you should be very good in handling large amounts of data in order to really grow.
And no more shortcuts in Excel, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Many people think that accounting is all about numbers. And what about soft skills? Do you think those are important? And if yes, which soft skills?
For soft skills, I feel, based on my experience, the soft skill which is very underrated is the ability to listen without interrupting or forming some preconceived notions. Because many a times when we are dealing in accounting, we are given with information that is incomplete, incorrect, not intentionally, but just that the person whom you are speaking to, he may not know the things in the way that how you know. So he may not pass on all the information. So if you form some opinion at the onset, it will most likely be incorrect. So just understanding, taking in the information, and then acting. Yes.
Do you have any short example to explain this?
Yes. So when I was doing audits, when I was on the other side, so many a times if I will ask for certain information, like let's say in terms of education industry, so if I ask for revenue working, I will generally ask, do you have some calculation to show the earned revenue for the fiscal year, whatever? Most likely the answer will be no. But if I just take it at the face value and start preparing my own calculation, I will end up spending hours and hours. Rather, I should ask, okay, give me the details of all the students who enrolled. That is the starting point. Then I will say, okay, can you provide me how much money was collected from the students? So yeah, so you have to slowly ask the questions
so that you
put
get all the
pieces together.
information.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, good. Based on what we answered here, a lot of accountants, they don't start with the industry, right? They generally start with public accounting and then they move to corporate world, right? What do you think is the difference between the two, and how can they easily make that switch?
There is a lot of difference between the two, and the most basic differences in an industry. This is, let's say, if you start working in a company, then this is where you will be. However, in case of industry, every single time you get a new client, people change, their processes change, the way they behave changes. It's very, very dynamic, and you can't really bring meaningful changes in a company by being in practice. In order to bring meaningful changes, in order to really build a department or to contribute to it, in order to make it grow, you have to make the switch and come to the industry. Like in our case, so when I started in the accounting team, there were only 3 people. Now we have got so many. So I had the pleasure of creating this team right from scratch. This type of satisfaction you may or may not get in industry, depending on which firm you join. Is it a very large firm, small firm? What are its specializations? There are some firms specializing in tax, some in audits. In industry, you get a mix of both. For example, I have to deal with not just the accounting aspects, but the tax aspects, legal aspects, ministry aspects, everything. So it's a more rounded
and also
growth.
I think a lot of different types of regulations comes into place, right?
Yes.
In the type of industry you're working with, or whether you're in a public sector, right?
In a firm, you can be a jack of all, but never a master of one.
Do you have any memorable experience working here at OEG, except that you get to create your own team?
I think there is not a single memorable experience, rather the journey itself, how it started, because earlier I was associated with this group in a very different capacity as an auditor, and during the audit I started interacting with Puneet, Harit and all, and that's how I came to know them. They liked my work, brought me here. So yes, it's the entire journey, I would say. I can't really pinpoint one particular instance.
Well, glad to hear that, Rajeev. Becoming a CPA is a major milestone for any accountant, right? So how do they start preparing for it, and do you have any tips for somebody who's just started, like, and into looking on becoming a CPA?
Most of the times the budding chartered accountants, they struggle with finding the starting point, because even the study material is scattered over all places. So it's little bit unstructured. So I would say always study in a group and rely more on the free resources like Notia, which is an online study material issued by the Institute of CPA. So that will save them time and if they study in a group, they will have more focus. And once when you interact with others who have similar interests, are on basically in the same boat, so you can clear your doubts, your any questions about okay, when should I start applying for PEP, all those questions can be easily answered rather than just taking the journey alone.
What about AI platforms? Do you know about any AI platform that is out there which can help the accountants in this exam?
Yes. So how I would have used AI. No, my exams are all done, so I am not interested in giving another exam anytime soon. So how I would have used it is it's very good in building scenarios. Sometimes when you see a question in the exam or in your textbook, so many a times you have lot of questions that, okay, why was this answer more suitable than the one that I am thinking? And many a times you don't have the luxury of having some type of a mentor to ask those questions. Or sometimes if you just want to understand something in more depth, then you can always refer to AI to help you get some type of a clarity. So I would have used AI in this way for my studies. And there is also a part in a CS journey for going through the training. During training, sometimes let's say if you are struggling with an Excel formula, AI is very good with coming
gives
up
like
with
3 different options.
So
which all platforms are you using? Like personally, I am on ChatGPT every day. Which is your go-to AI platform?
If I have to draft any legal agreement, then I have noticed compared to ChatGPT, Grok gives a better drafted agreement layout. So yes, I sometimes use Grok, sometimes even ChatGPT. So it's a mix of both. So depending on what it is, I change the platform.
Are you guys also using any automation tool?
Yes, we are. So we do our bookkeeping in QuickBooks, and as you know, every single day there are hundreds of entries to be recorded.
Correct.
It is not possible for someone to manually record all these transactions. So we have a third party tie-up wherein all these entries are first entered in Excel. Actually, the entire bank statement is copied into Excel, and that Excel file is uploaded onto QuickBooks. It completely cuts out all the manual work. So nobody has to physically sit and key in all the entries. It's uploaded.
And are the accounting firms using like cloud tech to like keep their data?
Yes. It's a must.
Right, with like big numbers and big files.
Yes. Data security, more importantly.
I agree. Yes. Other than all the accounting things, what are your thoughts on the tariff that is imposed now on Canadian goods? How do you think businesses will affect?
Initially, nobody knows how things will pan out. We can make some educated guesswork. Initially, it will be tough because tariffs are going to increase prices. Inflation will increase. But over a period of time, industries will be forced to become more competitive. And it will, in a long run, be helpful. But yes, in the short term, it is going to be disruptive on both sides of the border.
How long do you think it will take to settle down?
In terms of economic implications, it's never something which can be concluded in a week, in a month. So we always go by number of years. So yes, the next 5 years, you will see the impact. After a year or 2 years, you will start seeing all
changes,
the good as well as bad impact of tariff.
And the accounting industry is facing a lot of labor shortage of talent. What do you think firms should do to retain good qualified people?
I would say training is a must, because many a times when you hire somebody, it's you assume that okay, he knows every single thing.
Yeah,
And you don't spend time in training your resources, and that is why many a times people, if they tend to leave and the attrition is high. So I would say good amount is having a good focus on training and building the team, rather than just using them as a resource. You should consider that person as a part of your work family, hear his or her concerns, hear what are their challenges, try to make it simple for them.
If you would like to give an advice to somebody who's just entered into the accounting field,
the advice which I'll give is keep a study plan right from day one. Don't prolong it. Okay, fine, I'll give the exam after an year, so it's okay, I'll not study. You have to study some at least half an hour to an hour every single day. Otherwise you will not pass.
No procrastination.
Consistency. Yes, it's the consistency that matters.
True.
And what do you study? Again, I am reiterating on Notia because it's a free resource. Otherwise, in this day and age, everybody has financial constraints. If you will just start buying every single textbook, joining every single coaching class, soon you will find you are at least short by a couple of $1,000. It's expensive.
And who's gonna keep up with all these books, right? I'm sure those are like...
It's are all mostly online. I would
see.
say most of them are online.
I see, okay. And what's one thing that you wish more people know about accounting?
I would like to clear a lot of people's misconception that accounting is just about numbers, but it's not. In order to be successful in this day and age, you should have not just a good knowledge of the basic account, but also IT, especially Excel, how you handle data analytical skills, how you are able to work with incomplete, incorrect information, just ability to understand processes. So it's a bit of soft skills as well as the core skills, not just relying on one.
Correct. Okay, we would like to jump into the rapid fire round here and just say the first thing that comes into your mind. Okay. One financial habit everyone should have.
Forced savings.
Most underrated skill for accountants.
Ability to listen to the person. Yeah. Otherwise, never jump the gun.
You have to be a good listener to be a good accountant.
Yes.
A common myth about accounting you want to debunk.
The common myth is that we don't have any other life. It's just that we come to office, we're the first person to come to the office and last person to leave. It's not like
and
that.
Just with like pile of files on the desk, right?
It's not like that.
One book or resource you recommend for aspiring CPAs?
Notia.
Public accounting or industry? Which one do you like more?
Industry.
Hard skills or soft skills? What's more important for accountants?
Hard skills. Because soft skills, okay, fine. Without hard skills, you won't go far. That's
soft skills won't do your work.
Yes.
Right? QuickBooks, Xero, or something else? What's your go-to accounting tool?
QuickBooks.
If you had to pick one word to describe a great accountant, what would it be?
Patient.
And what's the biggest mistake you see new accountants making?
Not having a clear career path in mind.
With that, we will wrap up the session, Rajeev. Thank you so much. This has been an incredible conversation. So many valuable takeaways. And now I'm gonna open the forum to our listeners here if they have any question for you.
So like, what is important information that newcomers should know when they think about like taxes?
So it's always good to know that no matter when you came, but even though it is your first year, you have to file your taxes. So and another thing is for newcomers, people generally feel little bit scared to find a good firm to prepare their taxes, but in this day and age there are lots and lots of firms which are giving subsidized services to newcomers. So rather than just going to the big ticket tax filing firms like H&R Block, so just try to find some good cheaper options. Otherwise, again, so basically they are going to prepare your taxes. It's ultimately you are going to get the tax return, but you can get it at a far cheaper price rather than spending so much money.
So there's a lot of acronyms in accounting, like CA, CPA, CGA. What's the difference between, and is one better than the other?
There were a lot of acronyms earlier, but then all these professional bodies, they underwent a reorganization. So now it's basically just CPA.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there can be anything in middle, but as long as the first and the last alphabet is CA, that's I just mentally just screen out whatever that comes in middle. It's just an accountant with another name.
Good to know. Okay.
Like the pros and the cons of like starting accounting right now for Canada market. How is it right now?
So right now I would say because of the labor shortage in accounting, if you are very serious about taking up accounting as your long-term career goal, then this is a very good time to start, because across all the different industries there is a shortage of good reliable stuff.
Before we sign off, do you have any final words of wisdom for our listeners?
I would like to reiterate some of the things which I said earlier. Have a clear goal in mind. Don't waste too much time procrastinating. Exams, months will fly by very fast.
Yeah.
So start early, start methodically, then you have a very good chance of passing. And don't give up, even though if you happen to not clear the exam in the first attempt, it's fine. So don't be disheartened, keep at it.
Awesome. Nice. Thank you so much, Rajeev, for the advice. It was really nice, and it was really nice having you with us for this conversation.
Thank you for
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us today. If you've enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Stay tuned for more updates on our next episode. Thanks for tuning into InFocus. See you next time.